a place free of problems, scams, and thievery. A place where comfort is your only concern. Imagine Comfort Time Live. Coming to you live to tackle all of your home comfort concerns with your hosts, Tom and Dino.
All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Friday edition of Comfort Time Live. I'm Tom, and we welcome back. Well, actually, nobody on the Friday show missed you because you were here last Friday. But
yeah, I was here.
There was actually a rumor going around on Facebook that you had gone up to Michigan for a sex change operation. Is that true?
I take the fifth.
Okay, all right. Just wanted to be sure. I hate to have rumors going around that aren't true. Of course, I hate to start rumors like that. I would never do that.
Right.
Yeah, never at all. So your pecs are looking a little bit more protruding than normal. So I'm not.
About a B cup. The hormones are working.
Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, on Comfort Time Live, we are going to have open phone lines. And the topic for you to call in is, what is your worst customer service issue you've had with a contractor?
Wow. I'm waiting for the phones to ring off the hook because there's tons of people out there that have had just...
And let's hope we have some of the folks that aren't too shy. And I know there's been quite a few this past week or so that I've heard from. And I know we're going to try to get some resolution and some documentation before they call. This way we can actually announce the names of the companies live over the air, and we can only do that if it's public knowledge that they've been accused of the specific crime that we're speaking of. So let's keep that in mind. So again, ComfortTimeLive.com is the place to go. Anything you want to know about the show, if you want to listen to our past shows, if you want to find out about our sponsors, we have some updated news on sponsors this week that we're going to be talking about. So don't hesitate to give us a call, 340-1590. What is your worst customer service issue when it comes to contractors? Don't have to give us your name. You can make up a name, and be more than happy to talk to you about it. And you can even disguise your voice if you'd like.
Hey, how you doing?
But we have some great shows coming up for you the next couple weeks. Next week, which would be August 10th right here, we are going to be talking with John A. Hockin, Esquire of Linkhurst and Hockin. Now, what they are is they are a construction industry attorneys, and they're going to educate us on what issues homeowners can face if they don't properly protect themselves.
Ooh, that'll be exciting.
For instance, if you hire an unlicensed contractor to do work, whether you are aware that they are an unlicensed contractor or not, that contract, or well, he's not even a contractor, but that individual, if he does anything wrong, you have no recourse whatsoever to go after him.
It is all on the homeowner.
That's it. 100%.
Isn't it funny, after, moving down here from, Canada, that if you can hold a hammer and hit a nail, you're a contractor down here.
And that's what they think.
Yeah. And what I'm finding out is that homeowners, I think some of them that I talk to don't care. They just want it done cheaply. They want to save money, and they're not thinking about the effects that could possibly arise down the road.
Until they're a statistic, and their house is severely damaged. They've lost thousands of dollars, and they're standing in front of the contractor's exam board because they want restitution now for something they did. But the individuals don't know that until it happens, just like anything. We take chances on a lot of stuff until something major happens, and we go, oh, I should have had that.
Right.
Oh, I should have done that. Hindsight. That's how the saying, hindsight 20/20.
That's right.
So it can't. It didn't just pop out of thin air.
Nope.
Somebody invented it for a good reason, for a really good reason. I say that quite a bit. 15 years ago, why didn't I just go to sleep? My daughter's. You just caught on
I
to that.
just caught that 15-year. I just
My
got
daughter,
it.
my daughter, who is 15 years old, is sitting in the studio with us this morning. She just got finished her final volleyball conditioning class.
Say hi, Ariana.
Hi, Ariana.
Hi. All right.
And
she's a little shy.
going to be going to tryouts Monday and Tuesday, and hopefully, oh no, not hopefully.
She'll make
Hope's
it.
not a strategy.
No.
She will make the team. Okay, even if I have to take the head coach out to dinner or something to make sure.
Who had the sex change?
Oh, but anyway, so no, that was kind of the joke. 15. She's 15 years old now, so maybe I just gone to sleep. Hindsight 2020.
Right.
Now,
Why didn't I just say no? I have a headache tonight.
I could have kept playing PlayStation just for a little bit longer.
Ugh.
I love you, sweetie. You know it.
Ah, she's a good girl.
All right, so that is next Friday, August 10th. We're going to have our construction attorney here with us on the air. He's actually going to come to the studio, so do not hesitate to write your questions down and give us a call, 340-1590. So if you have any questions about a contractor, maybe you've done business with somebody, maybe you're getting ready to do business with someone, and you have a question for him, do not hesitate to pick up the phone and call us on a day. It's going to be a great show. A lot of the things we've been talking about for the past 3.5 years, you're going to hear it right from the law instead of just, individuals putting their own opinions in.
I'm excited because there's a lot of questions that you want to be able to ask to find out, okay, I want to hear it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, and there was one that I want to ask him that I'm really curious about is I heard, and I'm just throwing this out as a rumor right now, that because the unlicensed contractor obviously has got no liability insurance or anything like that, but also because nothing that he does really is legal if it's supposed to be a licensed or permitted process, that the homeowner can get away with not paying that guy and it would be legal. So I want to ask that question. So I could bring, now of course.
Now, did you see the light bulbs go off above my head? Woo, wait a minute.
Yep. So you could, because if he were to write up a contract, which, most homeowners should ask that, it's not a legally binding contract because he's not licensed. So because it's not, the homeowner could say, you know what, you're not licensed right now, I'm not going to pay you. And that unlicensed contractor has zero recourse to go out. Now, I'm asking this question on next Friday because I'm not 100% sure the whole process of that, but that's what I kind of heard.
Wow.
So I'm really interested to get down to that. But remember, the show today, we're talking about what is your worst customer service issue with a contractor. Any business that's come into your home at all where you've just had horrible service. The guy walked into your house and maybe he just reeked of cigarettes and beer. And that's
Wait a minute, you don't get that down here, do you either?
No.
Guys aren't having liquid lunches and breaks at 10 o'clock and doing a six-pack. No.
No, you get the contractor, the guy can't wait to get off the job to go home and get totally trashed out of his mind, and then he comes back to work the next morning, his eyes are all glassed over, staggering all over the place, and he goes out onto the job site.
That sounds like half the construction industry down here.
Oh my gosh. But you know what? There's a lot of companies like some of our sponsors, like our sponsors, who will not put up with that. And we're going to talk about our sponsors. We got some changes coming up on our sponsorship. Now, on August 17th, which is the following Friday, 2 Fridays from today, we have Barbara Petrillo. Now, Barbara won a spot on our show from a Martini networking event.
That's right.
And guys, this is the show. Now, I say guys, and when you hear what she does, you're going to be like, what guy's going to want to listen to that show? I'm telling you, the jewelry that this lady designs, your wives, your significant others, your, in Dino's case, boyfriend,
right?
They're going to love to wear this. Now, can you imagine having an opportunity to listen to hear some of this stuff, find out where you can get this, and surprise your significant other with a nice, beautiful piece of handcrafted jewelry? That
would be nice.
Yeah. So
we
talk about comfort in the home. Can you imagine how comfortable you would be that night?
Right.
Oh, yeah. So Barbara Petrillo from the Petrillo Collection was going to be on the show August 17th. She's a great person. Talked to her at the Martini Network. Just a great personality. I think she's going to be just a great individual to have on the show. Very talkative and very, very pretty young lady as well.
Very
pretty young
exciting.
lady. So I think that's going to be real good. So for you folks that like to view the show online, make sure you go to ComfortTimeLive.com on August 17th, 2 Fridays from today, and get an opportunity to chat with Barbara online, ask her some questions. If you ladies are listening and you want to maybe find out some information to where you could make suggestions, subtle
Yes,
suggestions
just
to your
small
significant
suggestions.
other. For instance, if you don't buy me some damn jewelry, you're in the doghouse. So don't hesitate. So next Friday, August, we have John Hawkins, attorney, on August 17th, Barbara Petrillo on. And then we have a couple other things. I think we may end up having soon after that a private investigating company.
Ooh, really?
Yes. So they're very interested in being on the show. We're just trying to
Hash out a few
hash out a few dates that would be best for them. But I'm really excited about that one. And I'd really love to have them as a sponsor on the show, because they do all kinds of private investigation. They do all kinds of things. I mean, anything that deals with your home as far as that goes. Maybe you have a significant other that
Right.
perhaps you feel may be a little
promiscuous.
and you want to find out if they are,
Right.
subtly, without being direct, come out and saying, do you know, you cheating on me?
Not since last night.
Not
maybe.
so they'll help you out with that. But there's all kinds of other things that they'll help out with. They deal a lot with unemployment and things of that nature as well, workers' compensation issues. So if you're a business. So once we get that date wrapped up, we're going to let you know. But today, open lines for worst customer service issue with a contractor or any business that you've been to. Maybe you've been out to dinner or something. But give us a call here, 340-1590. We're going to go ahead and take our first quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about some changes with our sponsors. And we are also going to have some trivia today.
Ooh, I like trivia.
I got a nice little riddle, and then hopefully we might be able to come up with tip of the day, too.
We can come up with tip of the day.
So you're listening to Comfort Time Live. We'll be back in just a minute.
Elite Electric, specializing in all your electrical needs, from security lighting to surge protection and everything in between. How do you think they got their name? Elite Electric. Elite Electric has been family owned and operated on the Treasure Coast since 1988, and they're recommended by Comfort Time Live. Visit online at EliteElectricandAir.com and learn more about their services. Elite Electric. Service today. Proud sponsor of Comfort Time Live. Friday mornings at 11 on WPSL 1590.
Benjamin Franklin Plumbing would like to help you schedule some help, whatever on-time help you need. For plumbing emergencies like a busted water heater, go to ScheduleSomeHelp.com. Sewage problems? ScheduleSomeHelp.com. If water is dripping from your ceiling, ScheduleSomeHelp.com. If you need help repairing that leaky faucet or upgrading your shower head, ScheduleSomeHelp.com. Want help with your golf game? Yep, ScheduleSomeHelp.com. Right now, get help for $25 at ScheduleSomeHelp.com. Limitations and exclusions apply. See ScheduleSomeHelp.com for full details.
All right, welcome back to Comfort Time Live, 340-1590, the number to give us a call here at the studio. We are talking today about the worst customer service issues when dealing with contractors. What have you had in the past, before you kind of got into the industry? Have you ever had any issues that come to mind?
You know, I've had a couple, more of, you go out to a restaurant, and they just don't care. They seem like, you're doing them a favor by showing up to the restaurant. And I'm like, wait a minute, it's supposed to be the other way around. Your food comes out cold. It comes out, staggered. Oh, well, it's not our fault. Well, you know what? Damn it. It's somebody's fault.
I love when the servers blame the cooks on screwing up the meal.
It's a team effort in a restaurant.
Exactly.
It's a team effort.
And you know that because you've been in the restaurant business too for a while.
It starts from the moment the person walks inside the door and is met by a greeter. that team member is part of the team that has to do the serving, part of the cooks, everybody's a team, and it's a whole collaborated effort, and you can't just blame, well, it's the cook's fault. Okay, well, we've got food coming out. Why didn't you get on them and get it going?
But also that they're the ones who put the order in. Okay, they're the ones that know directly from the customer
Right.
what was supposed to be on the order, so they put it in. Well, if they let's say they didn't put it in correctly, put the order in correctly, and it comes out and goes on to the expediter's table, and you're ready for you to pick it up. You're the server. You're supposed to know whether it's right or wrong.
Right.
So you should be looking at it before you bring it to the customer.
Oh, wait a minute. They didn't have rice. They had potatoes. We need to change that.
Right. Not wait till you get out to the table and the customer goes, "I ordered rice, not potatoes." I'm sorry. The cooks put that on there.
Well,
So-
right. Okay, so your outside expo person or inside expo person didn't catch it. You didn't catch it because it's your job to look at that serving tray to make sure everything is right. And, they just don't do that.
And it's everybody's fault, But if the server did their job properly and they put the information in properly, and it did get missed, but it's everybody's, responsibility to do that right. But if you're the last person in line and you don't catch it, you're just as much as fault as they are.
You know what? My wife and I went out to a restaurant a couple weeks ago and bit into something, and there was like a piece of bone or there was something really hard. I'm showing this. I'll go, showing this to the waitress. I'm like, what is this? And why is this in my refried beans?
Okay. Refried beans is not a place for a bone.
Right. And what's this hard thing? And da-da-da-da-da. And I go, somebody could have broken a tooth. Somebody could have had some damage. And whereas the manager never came to our table. He was out running errands doing something. And, we went back, talked to the cook, and he says that's normal. Something to do with the beans and the way they grind them up. And I make.
Wait a minute.
They said yes.
Well, okay. What part of a bean anywhere has a bone
hard
in
like
it?
a rock.
Has a bone in it.
Right. Well, it could have been a piece of rock. I'm not sure if it was a bone, but it could have been a piece of rock. And basically, she made all the excuses. Oh, here's a coupon for free dinner. But I never saw a manager.
Not once.
Never once saw anybody do a table touch or come by to say, folks, how's everything going? Great. Now I look like Jed Clampett because I snapped a tooth or something off. You guys need to do a little quality control.
Yeah, and that just frustrates me. And the biggest thing at restaurants that frustrates me is you finished your dinner. They then maybe sometimes they put the check down early.
Right.
Sometimes you got to wait to ask for it, and then once they put it down, they disappear.
Gone.
And I used to talk about this all the time with my ex, and I had pointed out to her, and it'd be like, look, wait, watch. They set it down. Now watch how long it takes them to come back. It would be forever, and it's almost consistently everywhere I go. They'll bring that check, but once they bring that check down, it takes them forever to pick it back up again.
How do they know you don't want to sit? Maybe have an extra, Kettle One and cranberry.
Ask.
Right.
That's all you gotta do.
Would you like another one?
If you don't ask, you don't know.
Yeah, I would.
I've gotten dates with some really, really hot chicks just because I asked.
Right.
And if I had never asked,
I've done some begging and gotten, that way.
But the contractors coming to your house. Go ahead.
I was going to say, but a month ago, you had a problem with some customer service at a spa, wasn't it? Where they just argued with you?
Oh, yeah, that was...
What a fiasco that was.
Yeah, I won't mention the name of the company. They eventually took care of it, but I had bought a gift for myself and someone else, and I did everything over the phone. So they'd give me a price over the phone. So when I went in, nothing was discussed. We were just immediately brought back to have the services done, and so we come up to the front. Nobody's mentioned anything. Nobody validated what we were having done today. Nothing. So I go up to the front, and it's like $60 more than what was discussed, and I asked the girl at the front desk, that's not what was talked about. She goes, well, that's the price for what you had done. I said, but that's not the price that I was told over the phone when I booked the appointment. So I rattled off 3 different prices at the person on the phone, and one was for like a 30-minute, a 60-minute, and a 90-minute.
Right.
And she goes, well, we don't have any prices like that at all here. None. I don't know. They couldn't have told you that because we have nothing on our schedule like that. So the person I'm with just so happens to open up their brochure that's on the counter
That's awesome.
And right there in the brochure were the exact same 3 prices that I had just rattled off. Well, this girl just gives me nothing but problems. I said, well, can I have my money? I can't do that. I have to talk with the manager, and the manager's not here right now.
Of course.
Of course not.
Right.
So I call back 3 days later because I still don't get a phone call back. And the person who's supposedly the manager gives me the same garbage. And she's arguing with me on the phone. And I'm like, so I filed a formal complaint with her. She goes, well, I can't make a decision. I'm like, you're the manager of the store, right? Well, yeah, but I have to think this has to go up the corporate ladder or whatever she said. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So finally,
What happened, ladies and gentlemen, to the
about a
customer's always
week
right?
later, oh, it was horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible. Anytime you ever have an issue, you should expect someone to not just be judgmental right away. I can understand your concern, Dino. Let me look into this, find out a little bit about what happened, and I promise I'll get right back to you and see what we can do to clear this
Instead
up.
of, I bet you felt you were blown off. You
Oh,
were just,
absolutely. I felt like that, and then the excuse by the regional manager or the top boss lady that once I finally got this resolved, her excuse was as well, the people at the front desk are not career-minded individuals, so they're just kind of here.
Did they already have your money?
Oh yeah.
That's the problem
Oh,
right
yeah.
there.
Oh yeah.
You lost ground right there.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what her excuse was. She said, well, they're not career-minded individuals. Well, what's that got to do
There's
with
a lot of people looking for jobs.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She goes. The ladies in the back are career minded. This is what they want to do. Well, what has that got to do?
I don't see the ladies in the back until I pass the ladies in the front.
Exactly.
And the ladies in the front are a representation of your company.
First point of contact. They need to be the absolute best in customer service that anybody in your company needs to be, because that's the person I see first. That's the person I see last.
Right.
And that's what's going to leave the impression on me. And the only reason I'll go back to this place is to get my $60 back that they put. and now they didn't give me my money back.
Of course not.
They just gave me an in-house credit.
Right.
So that's the only reason I will go back to that place, is to get whatever I can, and I'm going to make sure that it's $59.99.
Hey, man, you can get your toes done and that Brazilian wax all at once. $59.99.
and I won't ever go back there again, and because it just, regardless of whether the issue was eventually resolved or not,
But see how bad that is, though, for business, because now you're going to tell other people that you had a bad experience there.
absolutely.
They should have taken care
Off
of you
radio,
right
I'll tell
off
everybody.
the bat.
Yeah,
Sure.
off radio, I'll tell everybody the name of that place, and I will. And I know quite a few people, and I know quite a few people who will go have services like that. But it just really, really frustrating. And I'm picky about, even with contractors. I had a contractor. I was down to a home and garden show, and this was probably a good year ago. I went to a home and garden show, and it was a screened-in patio. I owned my house back then, and I wanted the company to come give me an estimate on putting a screening in my patio out back. This guy pulls up. He's got the white hair, the white yellowish hair. You already probably see where I'm going with this one.
Yes.
He absolutely reeked of cigarette smoke. Okay, now I don't smoke, but I can deal when somebody has a faint odor on them. But this guy, I mean, just so you can tell, he was probably just huffing away in his car with the windows rolled up on his way there. I couldn't talk to him. I mean, he was 3 feet away from me, and I just could. I had to actually excuse myself and say, "Listen, I'm sorry, I got to run. I'm going to have to reschedule this appointment." I immediately called the office and said, he might have been the nicest guy in the world. He might have been your best salesman in the world. I don't know, but I can't have somebody in my house that smells that bad. Absolutely not. And they never sent somebody else back out.
That's when you find, you know what, if they don't care enough, that's when you find another company.
Oh, absolutely. And if I was ordering something to eat from, that probably would have been the people that spit in my soup or something like that.
Yeah, don't care.
That's why you can't complain. You just have to walk out. You have to leave.
Yeah,
if you complain at a restaurant,
Have you ever seen that movie Waiting?
leave.
You ever seen that movie Waiting?
No.
Oh my gosh. If you watch that movie Waiting, you'll never go to another restaurant again.
What you need to do is go, I'd like to pay for what I've already had. Thank you and goodbye.
Oh,
Yeah,
it was-
and never come back again, and make sure
Yeah.
you tell as many people as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was horrible. They were, it's just one of those spoof movies, and they were making a spin on like the Flanagan's or the Applebee's type
Right.
restaurant, and this one lady was just, customer was just being horrific. So they bring the plate in the back, and they made this like code code word or whatever it was. So there's like 6 guys on the line behind in the kitchen, and they just went from each one, and they just came up with this, oh, we need a little celery salt. And the guy would shake his hair, and the dandruff would go all over it.
Nice.
It was nasty.
Yeah, when you hear the words, would you like the chef to remake it?
No.
It's no thank you. I'd like to pay for what I've already had.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
that's the trouble.
My wife is a big one for complaining and, saying to them, I was like, you know what? We just never come back again. Never.
But we've in society lately, I think that we have come to accept inferior service.
Yes.
Now, not all of us.
Let me tell you my little trick for the drive-through. You know how you go through the drive-through and you place your order, you pay, and you're on the run. You got your little bag of food, and then it's not what you ordered. It's probably somebody else's,
Right.
Or it's made wrong, completely different than what you ordered. I go back, I park, I go in, and I want my money back.
Oh, you don't. Oh, good.
No, they keep the food, but I want my money back. I'll drive through somewhere else. You had one shot to get it right.
Very good.
I want my money back.
That's it. And see,
And
that's,
see,
There
when
you go.
when it's dollars and cents, it hurts more than them just giving you a
I
new
like
bag of
that.
food.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. That's a good idea.
Very cool.
But we have. I mean, society has, whether we want to or not, it's society has accepted a lower standard of customer service because that's what we're getting used to because very
Well, we're
few,
all in a hurry.
yeah, and very few
Yeah.
companies focus on. Now there are a few choice companies out there that do focus on great customer service, but everywhere you go, and I hate for the listeners to accept the guy that walks into their house as a contractor without any floor covers on, and he's got these nasty shoes, and he gets stuff all over their carpet.
Yep.
And you know what? Some of them that will just accept it. Well, he's a technician. He should be dirty. No. He should get dirty and then clean up before he gets to the next house. He
Yes.
should get dirty and then clean up before he gets to the next house. I used to teach all my people, carry a couple shirts with you in the car. Because if you're stuck up in an attic and you're sweating like a stuffed pig, before you go to that next customer's house, you need to change your shirt. You need to carry a stick of deodorant with you. You need to make sure you're cleaned up because your impression is the company impression. And it's not acceptable. What we've come to accept.
This is true.
We've come to,
Absolutely.
baggy shorts with untucked shirts coming into people's homes, not professional appearances, smoking all the time on the job, talking on the phone all the time, coming to the job hungover from the night before. I mean, I've never done that on the radio show, of course.
Right.
Never. But my daughter's looking at me cross-eyed over there.
That's just a normal look.
340-1590. What's your worst customer service issue? You don't have to tell us who the name of the company was. In fact, we'd appreciate it if you didn't. But we'd love to hear about it. Now, we want to thank our sponsors. You probably hear a little bit about them on the commercials. We want to thank Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, located right here in Port St. Lucie. Now, Benjamin Franklin Plumbing is a privately owned franchised version of the national company. It's owned by Bob Ludlam, and great individual, very much a part of the community, from the Treasure Coast Builders Association to Green Builders Association, all kinds of things.
Very nice guy.
Yeah,
Absolutely love
Yeah.
talking to him.
And Ty and Mark and those guys and Sherry in the office, all those folks, and Lisa. But you want to give them a call, 866-BEN-1776, BEN 1776. You're going to have to figure out on the phone what those numbers are, but I think it's like 236 or something. But 866-BEN-1776. Now give them a call for all of your plumbing needs. The nice thing is they also work hand in hand with one of our other sponsors, Elite Electric, for whole house generators and whatnot. So Elite Electric will go ahead and pull the electrical permit, the construction permit for the whole house generator, and then if they're going to use natural gas, Benjamin Franklin Plumbing has the license to come in and hook up that gas line. If there's propane there and there's already a propane line, they can also hook that up as well.
I have a great question.
And I probably have no clue what the answer is.
You've got Benjamin Franklin Plumbing showing up to do some plumbing work, and they pull a permit for, mechanical, plumbing, stuff like that. But then you have Elite Electric and Air showing up to do work at the same time.
Right.
Do they have to pull the same permits?
If they're doing the same work, Okay, let's say, well, they would actually be doing different ones. So the plumber comes in, and if he's going to be hooking up the gas line and he has a license for that, he has to pull a permit for that specifically. Then Elite Electric and Air would come in, and if they were doing a whole house generator, they under their license, they would pull the permit for the electrical, and under their license for the construction portion of it.
Okay.
So
Got a question?
Yeah.
If you're a homeowner, can you go down and go, I've got some work to do on my house. Can you pull a permit
Yes.
yourself? Does that cover everything or no?
you have to have a permit for each individual thing depending on what it is. So if I'm going to do some electrical work in the house that does require a permit, I would pull a permit specifically for the electrical. But the homeowner can do that.
Will the city help you out if you go down there and go, I'm doing
Yes.
this, I'm going to do this, and they're going to go, you're going to need this,
They
you're going to
want
need
you
this.
to do
Okay.
that.
Okay.
They want you to do that. They actually want you to call. They want you to ask them, what are you doing? This is what I'm going to be doing. Does it require a licensed contractor? And does it require a permit? If there's any doubt, they'll ask you to bring some paperwork and documentation down. And then at that point in time, but yes, as a homeowner, you can pull a permit. Now, it has to be your residence, your homesteaded residence. If it's a rental property, you cannot do it on your own. You have to hire a licensed contractor to do it. But if
okay.
it's your property, your homesteaded property, you as the homeowner can do work on that house as owner-builder, but you still must pull permits. You do not have to have licenses to do it, but you do still have to pull the permits on each individual thing.
Boy, it sounds like you could walk out of the licensor place with like a deck of cards and
Oh,
building permit. There you
That's what
go.
I mean, like fences. If you're building a fence, you can build a fence as a homeowner.
Sure.
But you need a permit for it.
To build a fence?
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
And a lot of the reasons have to do with, there's not a huge safety concern except for, well, what if you got a hurricane? And
It's coming down anyway.
It's coming down anyway. But haphazardly, if I have a little rainstorm with some 40, 50 mile an hour winds and I was a joke of an installer on this fence, it's going to go flying through somebody's window. Now, if you've got a hurricane with 140, 150 mile an hour winds, it's expected. But a lot of these codes today, they are specific engineered things that must be done for it to withstand those 150, like with air conditioning systems now. When they're strapped to a slab outside, there has to be an engineered stamp showing that the way that you strapped it down has to meet 180 mile an hour wind code. So if the wind's not a gust, because that's different, but sustained winds of 180 mile an hour, that unit should not move.
And if it's strapped to the roof, it's coming off anyway.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you've been in the construction industry a long time, Tom, and been doing air conditioning, and you've lived in Florida during hurricanes. Have you ever seen a condenser
Yes.
outside picked up and thrown?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, those things.
Off the roof.
Oh, absolutely. Even on the side, even ground.
Really?
Oh,
Really?
absolutely.
I mean, it takes 2-3 guys to pull a thing off a pallet and move it. and-
Absolutely.
wow.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. 340-1590, the number to call here at the studio if you have a question, comment, or suggestion. So we have a caller on line one. John, good morning.
Yeah, it's your favorite electrician.
Oh, jeez. Don't you guys screen these calls?
Sorry.
I pay these guys to screen these calls. They just let anybody in.
Hey, John, how you doing this morning?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
Excellent.
Doing good. Well, it's good that you called, but I'm going to go ahead and let you make your statement first before we continue on.
Yep. I wanted to make a comment about you were talking about the homeowner can pull a permit. So
If it's
what I wanted to be clear about was a homeowner is allowed to pull a permit for them to do the work. They are not allowed to hire anybody
There you go.
and still pull a permit.
Good
So-
clarification.
So, a lot of times, or what I have seen, is a customer will, there'll be an unlicensed contractor will go to a house. They will imply that they are a contractor, talk the homeowner into pulling the permit, and then they go do the work. If they do that, then the customer or the homeowner could be liable for anything that may happen at that house, and then that's illegal.
And that actually happened at the contractor's exam board during the last meeting. We had a homeowner that supposedly, and it was a back and forth, he said, she said, this guy came in to start a fence. They say he portrayed himself as a contractor, and they pulled the permits. But he says he never did any such thing, and then he was hired at like $15 an hour is what it said. But that was the whole thing back and forth, just like what you're saying, John, is even
Right.
though they're owner-builder, You correct. You cannot do that. You can't still go out and pay somebody else to come in and do work for you when you pull the
Right.
permit.
Well,
Right.
okay.
Now they are allowed to have somebody else come in and do it if they have a license.
Correct.
So the homeowner can pull a permit, and if somebody is licensed, so if a customer or if a homeowner wanted to pull a permit for whatever reason,
Right.
and wanted to hire us because we are a licensed contractor of the particular trades, then that would be legal.
Now, something else that I heard, and this is something we're going to ask John Hockin when he comes on the show next week, is if they are not paying that person whatsoever to come in the home and help them with that work, it's still okay as well. So let's say I want to have my neighbor Joe, and I asked Joe to come over and give me a hand running these wires, and I've pulled my permit as the homeowner. I'm not paying Joe anything. Joe's just there as a helpful hand. Now, from what I was under the impression during the contractors exam board, that topic was brought up, and they said that as long as they're not being paid or if there's no contract, that it's okay. Do you know the answer to that?
That is what we would call in the industry the gray area.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what we're going to ask John when he calls in, because I think John will know the answer to that. But no, thank you. And now, do we have any special announcements to make, John, or no?
Nothing too special. I don't know. I'm going fishing this afternoon. That's pretty special.
Wow, thanks. Oh man, what about our phone call? Are we on board with that?
Yes.
So let's go ahead and make that announcement then.
Okay. Well, I didn't know how long whatever had to happen with your existing contracts.
Oh no. We can as of today.
Oh, okay.
As of today, we
So-
officially have asked and accepted with Elite Electric and Air
Ooh, and air
air
now.
now.
All right.
as our air conditioning sponsor. So we'd like to say congratulations and thank you so much for wanting to participate with us here and help our air conditioning clients out, because there's many of them out there that need a good quality company that drug tests, background checks. What other kind of things do you do for your air conditioning people, John?
Well, as far as the service, we're talking about good service, bad service. We certainly intend and hopefully provide the best service possible for customers. I mean, it is on occasion that we do screw up, but we try to make anything and everything correct. We have many customers that rave about us every day for calling and letting them know when we're going to come. And we answer the phone. We had a customer call the other day. Actually, this happened twice in the same day. That a customer had called and stated that they had called 5 other people before calling us, and we were the first people to answer the phone.
And that is not a surprise to me at
Wow.
all.
I was like, are you open for business or are you hoping for business?
Yeah,
You're right.
And hope's not a strategy.
No, it's not.
No, I was on the phone the other day. I called last week. I called over 100 air conditioning companies because I'm helping them out with load calculations. I called 100 phone numbers over a few days. I can count on one hand how many people answered the phone.
Isn't that crazy?
It's disgusting.
Well, it's a lot of times like their office is their van, and they're busy. It's like, you know what? I want somebody who's got a brick and mortar store. I want to know that you're just not a fly by night type of guy.
But it's just horrible. So we're really, really happy to have. In fact, if I can, when we do our trivia question, John, if we can, I would love to maybe give away a one-time AC tune-up to welcome you to the show.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, great. Now, remember, ladies and gentlemen, that's EliteElectricAndAir.com, and you can go online. And, the great thing I like about John having their company having the electrical.
Best thing I like about Johnny's taking me fishing this afternoon.
Ooh, 5 o'clock, we're going to be headed east.
Heading east. How far out you going?
About 66 miles
Oh, wow. What are you looking to catch?
fish.
All right. Well, that makes sense.
That's
we're
a good
hoping,
answer.
our intent is to tomorrow morning hit the tuna bite first thing in the morning,
There you go.
and but we're going to be fishing all night for maybe some snapper
There you go.
or grouper, whatever.
Very nice.
good. Very good. Very good. One of the things that I like is when you have an AC contractor that has electrical license as well. Did you know, Dino, that it's illegal to install a breaker as an air conditioning contractor unless you have a electrical license?
I just found that out.
Yeah.
I did. That you're not allowed to do anything with the electrical. All you're allowed to do is put the condenser there or put the air handler in.
You can mess with the whip that goes to, and John, you could, attest to this. From the disconnect box outside, the whip that goes from the box to the unit is the only thing the AC contractor can touch.
You can't put a new box in.
Nope.
You can't change the breaker, nothing.
Nope. So, but you know what? I guarantee you there are hundreds and thousands of jobs
Thousands.
done. And the unfortunate thing is it's one of those things that the inspectors say, if it's there when I get there, I don't know any different. Right, John?
Right. That's exactly correct.
Unfortunately, but with Elite Electric and Air, what I like is that they are going to be able to do everything by the book.
Now, John, when you send a tech out, are your techs by any chance cross-trained? Some are
Not cross-dressers, but cross-trained.
Right.
Probably have a couple of those too, right?
Some can do electric and air.
We have started training all the guys in both trades. Primarily, the trade that they are in is either or. So we have several electricians and several AC techs. But we've trained on both sides to identify the problems of each trade, so they can keep an eye out for. So if we send an air conditioning tech, they can be observing to say, hey, we might want to pull one of the electricians over to take a second look at this, and vice versa. If we have an electrician on site and there's
Excellent.
it just so happens there may be an issue with the AC, they can do a preliminary check. But then we go one step further and bring one of the AC techs.
Very cool.
Excellent. Well, John, we're going to have to take a quick break. I appreciate you being on. You can either hold on to talk to us some more or whatnot. And we're going to do it's a riddle, not a trivia, to win a one-time free tune-up. Now, if you have more than one system, it's just for one system. Okay, you want to give us a call, 340-1590, and this is to celebrate our new air conditioning sponsor, Elite Electric and Air.
And we appreciate you allowing us to.
Oh, absolutely. You like how I said that? It's probably the other way around, but no, I really appreciate you, John. You got a great family there and great people. So here's the riddle. See if you can answer this. 340-1590. You throw this out when you need this. You bring this in when you don't need this. What is this? You throw this out when you need this. You bring this in when you don't need this. What is this?
Well, it's not my ex-wife.
Well, we're going to go ahead and take our quick break now. And when we come back, 340-1590 to win your one-time free tune-up from an Elite Electric and Air. We'll be right back.
Benjamin Franklin Plumbing can help you schedule the on-time help you need. Busted water heater? ScheduleSomeHelp.com. Leaky faucet? ScheduleSomeHelp.com. Help with your honey-do list? Perhaps. Get help for $25 at ScheduleSomeHelp.com.
Limitations and exclusions apply. See site for details.
Elite Electric with security lighting to surge protection and everything in between. How do you think they got their name? Elite Electric. Visit online at EliteElectricandAir.com and learn more about their services. Elite Electric. Service today. Proud sponsor of Comfort Time Live, Friday mornings at 11 on WPSL. Elite Electric, specializing in all your electrical needs from security lighting to surge protection and everything in between. How do you think they got their name? Elite Electric. Elite Electric has been family owned and operated on the Treasure Coast since 1988, and they're recommended by Comfort Time Live. Visit online at EliteElectricAndAir.com and learn more about their services. Elite Electric. Service today. Proud sponsor of Comfort Time Live. Friday mornings at 11 on WPSL 1590.
Who are you with the last?
All right, we're back. You're listening to Comfort Time Live, and I think we may still have John on the line, do we? John, you there? Or did you hang up, buddy? John hung up. That's okay.
John hung up.
He had to go back to work, get everything squared away before he goes out fishing. I wonder if his wife's listening to this and if she knows he's going out fishing.
She does now.
She
John's
does
going
now.
fishing.
Well, he's planning on catching fish, so she's probably happy about that.
That's good. Well, she's probably happy that he's gone for the whole night.
That's
When
it.
the cat's away, the mice will play.
That's right.
Ladies' night out. I could see it happening. So our trivia question, 340-1590, is actually a riddle. And John pretty much gave the riddle away when he told you about what he was doing. You throw this out when you need this. You bring this in when you don't need this. What is this? Give us a call, 340-1590. So, yeah, great news. Unfortunately, Ranger Air Conditioning is no longer our air conditioning sponsor. We now have Elite Electric and Air as our electrical sponsor and also as our air conditioning sponsor. So that's great news. Professionally dressed individuals. I really like that they drug test and background check all their folks. And Elite Electric and Air is actually part of a Nexstar organization that's very, very thorough.
Did you say Nexstar?
I think it's Nexstar. I think that's what it's called.
Okay.
They're an organization that helps them with the business side of the business. We know how to flip the breaker, we know how to turn the wrench, but we fail because we don't understand the business side. We don't understand the customer service side. We don't understand how to organize our technicians and whatnot, and that's what this business truly does. So it's a great network of other businesses, so we're excited to have them on board, and with Benjamin Franklin Plumbing as well. Always looking for sponsors. We want sponsors. I'm looking for a pool sponsor. I'm looking for a landscape sponsor. I'd like a roofing sponsor, some of the ones that we're looking for. Definitely want to get an attorney sponsor. I'm actually meeting with another attorney on the 15th to talk about having them on the show. They're more of like a real estate type of an attorney.
Okay, that would be really good.
So that'd be good to have them on because we want folks to be able to ask questions that they may be thinking about. And, not every day do you have the question, but we want to have sponsors that can help us answer either by you sending us an email. You can always email us your question. You do not have to call in. If you have a question and you're shy, like me, I'm a shy guy.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, I'm shy. And you just don't want to pick up the phone and call. And a lot of people don't want to do that. Go to ComfortTimeLive.com and click on the link that says Contact Us. And you can send me a brief email about what you're asking for. Many, many listeners have done that. In fact, that's how we get a lot of the information from our shows is from listeners emailing me saying, can you talk about this? Can you talk about that?
Oh, we'd love to.
Absolutely. So give us a call. So don't forget the trivia question, 340-1590. You throw this out when you need this. You bring this in when you don't need this. What is this? And we have George on the line with us. Hey, George, how you doing?
Hello, George.
You there, George? Hold on a second, George. Hey, George.
Yes,
There you go. Now we hear you. How we doing today?
I'm doing fine.
We're doing awesome. Do you have the answer to our trivia question, or do you just have a question?
I believe it's Hanker.
You got it. That is
Good
correct. Congratulations. You throw this out when you need this. So when you need the anchor, you throw it out to hold the boat.
Yes.
And then when you're done with it, you don't need it anymore. You pull it back in. So absolutely correct, George. Now, you can use this service, right, George?
Yes.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So what I'm going to do is as soon as we get off the air, we're going to give a phone call to Elite Electric and Air. We're going to have them come out, give you a call, and at your convenience, schedule an opportunity to come out and tune that system up. especially now that it's as hot as it is out. The thing is just probably running at its peak performance, and we want to make sure it's at its peak performance.
Right.
Hey, George, thank you for listening to the show. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, sir. Have a great day.
You too.
All right. Now, also, don't forget that CTL Consultants, a company that we have on the side from Comfort Time Live, you know, a lot of you folks out there are tired of being scammed by licensed and unlicensed contractors. You know, you have 3 or 4 contractors coming to your home, and, you know, as your best guess, you take the appraisal or the proposal from the one you think you trust the most.
Right.
And a lot of times they're still guessing about it. So what we do is for a very reasonable. In fact, I'm going to give a discount on it today. If you give us a call in the month of August, I'll discount. Typically, we charge $150 to come out to the house. We'll take a look at your entire home, document everything that's wrong with the heating and air conditioning system, okay, and give that to you in a nice little written proposal.
And there's a lot wrong. I've just been baffled by going into a house. You're like, you're kidding me.
Yeah.
They designed, and why did they do it like this? So, I mean, that's a great thing to have somebody come out.
That's a neutral opinion. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not trying to all I'm doing is giving you documentation so that when you're sitting in front of these folks, that you have a neutral opinion about what needs to be looked at, what needs to be addressed, so that, and maybe you've even had the companies out there already and you're still confused. I'll be more than happy to take a look at the quotes, give you a very unbiased opinion about what's going on. Did they do the right things? Are they charging a reasonable amount? And if you call in the month of August, do it for only $75. So you have 50% off. You have to mention that you heard this on Comfort Time Live. I'll come out to your home. I'll do a nice little written proposal with pictures and everything. Send it over to you so this way you feel better about what's going on. You know, because it's tough. When you have companies coming out there that are, what they're telling you is going to benefit them in some way.
Yes.
So so you feel uncertain. You know, is this the right thing I should be doing? Are they offering me the right system? You know, we talked about it that, you know, if you should never offer a system to a homeowner unless they know why that's the system for them.
You know, one of the things that CTL consultants do, they'll say, you know, hey, did they do this? Did they look at this? No. Well, you know that
why
you need
not?
to. Right? Why not?
Why not? Why didn't they? You need to make them. If this is the company you like, maybe, you know, and everybody makes mistakes and forgets things, but if you're going to use this company, that you need to make sure they come back out and take a look at these few things before you sign the agreement with them. And then I'm also going to make sure that all the paperwork is in order. Are they pulling permits? Are they going to be doing things? Are they licensed? Are they insured? For $75, you can't go wrong, and I guarantee you, whatever information I provide to you will save you a lot more than $75, okay? So that money's going to come back to you. So I really appreciate everyone listening to the show. And don't forget, we're going to be back next Friday. We're going to have John Hawkins on here with Horst. Boy, I probably butchered that. And Hawkins attorneys, or their construction attorneys. And then on the 17th, we're going to have Barbara Petrillo.
Exciting.
Yeah.
I'm really, really excited,
yeah,
man.
That's going to be fun. That's going to be a fun show. We'll make sure I have some of the ladies on here. Maybe Veronica might be able to find something that she may like. Little girly stuff. No, you're not girly? Well, thanks for listening to Comfort Time Live, and we're glad to have Mr. Dino back. I hope that the hormones that they're giving you,
they're kicking in.
They're kicking in. Good.
Yeah.
So maybe next week your voice will change. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. See you next Friday.
CBS News is next on WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast, a service of Port St. Lucie Broadcasters.
CBS News, I'm Steve Kathan. The July jobs report has investors encouraged on Wall Street. The Dow is up 247 points. CBS's Bob Fuss looks at the numbers from Washington.
Hiring jumped up in July with a gain of 163,000 jobs, the best number, says the Labor Department, since February. Gus Fauché is senior economist at PNC Bank.
That's, a very solid number. It's much better than what we were expecting, which was 125,000. So hopefully this means that the lull in job growth that we saw in the spring has come to an end.
The unemployment rate is calculated in a different way from jobs, and though the change was very slight, it did push it up 1/10 of a point to 8.3%. Bob Fuzz, CBS News, Washington.
Mitt Romney says the uptick in the jobless rate is a hammer blow to the middle class, and Americans deserve better. Syrian troops have been on the move in Damascus, storming a rebel stronghold in the southern part of the city today. At the United Nations, the General Assembly is poised to vote on a resolution condemning Syria for its use of heavy weapons. Secretary General Ban Ki-moon.
The acts of brutality that are being reported may constitute crimes against humanity or war crimes.
For the second time this week, controversy has made it onto the menu at Chick-fil-A restaurants.
The call for same-sex couples to come here and kiss today is not keeping people away from this Chick-fil-A.
No, long as they're not trying to kiss me, I'm all right.
Because I have friends that are gay, it doesn't bother me at all.
But others said they think same-sex kissing is inappropriate at a restaurant.
Yes, family, or it's a family place. I think it's wrong.
It's not something I'm used to seeing.
Dave Cohen for CBS News, New Orleans.
Chick-fil-A says